Hey, it's Sela Social Studies.
Hey guys, welcome to Sela's Social Studies. Today we're going to cover Thomas Paine's Common Sense. Now, what was Common Sense? The great Hip Hughes from Hip Hughes History YouTube channel, check it out, says it's a book of duh, which I agree, it is kind of a book of duh, right? It's like duh, this is the way we should be doing things. Little backstory, right? Thomas Paine is actually British. He's born in Britain, and he arrives in Philadelphia around 1774. He's an author. He's a writer. Washington uses some of his writings to really amp up the morale of some of the Continental Army during their times of disintegration of the army, where it's not going very well. He uses Thomas Paine's words to go ahead and boost their morale back up. In 1774, he comes to Philadelphia. July 10th, 1776, he publishes what we call Common Sense. Now, Common Sense is not a book or something like that. It's an actual pamphlet. And depending on what sources you look for, you'll see that it's between 47 and 49 pages long. Just a pamphlet of different grievances and different ideas. Now, how popular was it? Out of the 2.5 million colonists in the 13 colonies at the time, Paine sold about 500,000 copies of this thing. So that's pretty good when you consider 1 out of every 5 people have common sense. Don't we wish, right? Anyway, back to Thomas Paine's Common Sense. Thomas Paine wrote Common Sense to do a couple of things. It was to make the colonists rise up against the British government, able to rise their guns and fight for their independence. It challenged the authority of the British monarchy, the British Parliament, and the power of Britain. It went over the tyrannical ideas of the king and the monarchy and how bad the king was to the colonists. So it was really a call for people. Hello, duh, don't we want our independence? So it was a call for independence for people. It just said all the bad stuff about the king, the monarchy, parliament. Now, why does he do this? I'm only going to go over a couple of reasons, right? Number one, the colonies want their independence, and he believes that as well. But you have to go over a couple of reasons of why you think, duh, we should want our independence. Alexander Hamilton, the play from Lin-Manuel Miranda, quoted it best. I believe he said, "Why should a tiny island across the sea regulate the price of tea?" Right? So Britain was a little island way over across the Atlantic Ocean, but yet they're controlling the stuff that's going on in the colonies, right? That number one is really number one. And number two, why are the colonies, this great big continent of land, getting controlled by a silly king thousands of miles away in this little tiny island, right? So there's two things right off the bat. A third thing, they're tired of getting taxed, right? So let's get that out of the way. They don't want to have to worry about that. Why is, our mother, per se, the motherland, why are they taxing us so much, right? I mean, if you look at through different sources, you'll see that the colonists are being treated as second-rate British subjects. So, why is mom treating us like that? Okay. Another reason, you're talking about generational Americans here now. This is no longer the 1607, 1610, right? First colonies coming over here in Jamestown and all this other stuff. No, you're talking about now the 1770s. So you're generational Americans now, people who have been born here, people whose parents were born here. So why, if I was born in this land over in America, why should I have to follow the rules of some king all the way over there in Britain? So there are a lot of good points about what Thomas Paine wrote, and there are a lot of big, heavy ideas of why colonists should pick up arms against the British government to attack the British soldiers and to attack the British Parliament and royalty, and really hammering down on them in common sense.